All right, everyone, I want to welcome you to our Week 1 recap video for the Cult of Larry Draft League. I'm Dr. Geo, with me is...
P McGee.
And we're going to go over all of the exciting action from the first week of play, and we're going to do this for all of our divisions. We're going to take a look at each match, and then we're going to take a look at the standings for each division. And if you like this content, give us a subscribe. We'll come out with something like this every week as long as the league's going on, covering our main divisions. And I don't think there's any time to waste. What do you think?
I think you should get right into it. We've got a lot of content coming out. The league's just kicking into gear, so you don't want to miss any of this action as this first season is now rolling.
Yeah.
Officially in the books, week 1 is done. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's been a great week for everything as well, too. So let's get into this. So our very first matchup, we're going to start in the Initiate division, see what Carrie has in line for us. Our very first matchup is Team Nuclear Warfare, coached by Tox, versus the Richland Raichus. Let's take a look at the Pokemon that they were able to bring today. We have a Lazzle, Mega Sableye, Ditto, Reuniclus, Cloyster, and a Gliscor by Tox. What is that?
He drafted basically hard stall. I think we talked about that. Or I talked about it during power rankings. It's painful to play against, and this is a division where I think it's going to do very well, but we won't spoil the match yet because I could be lying.
Yeah. So what do we have coming up against them?
Yeah. Mo brought Serena, Mega Mawile, Mamoswine, Slowking, Zapdos, and Dragalge. Also of note is I believe Mo did all of the building for this beautiful looking dock that you're looking at, or a lot of the building.
He did.
Nice
He made it look pretty. I got it working. This is a big Mo and Geo collaboration. We both had a fair amount of input into it. So
yeah, as any doc related things are, I take a very, very big step back for those. So thank you to Mo for giving Geo someone to bounce off of and work with on these.
Yes, this wouldn't be possible without Mo. But let's take a look. Let's see how this match went. So we see this ended up being a 4-0 in favor of Tox, and if you like, it's 6 kills to the Reuniclus.
It was a close game until Mo gave Reuniclus 1 turn. And that's what you can't afford to do, is give Reuniclus 1 turn.
At least not when you don't bring a dark type. If you had a dark type, maybe you could do something. I think Emo's dark. No, because he has Hisuians or Arc, not the
Arc. He does.
One. So I don't remember what his dark type is, but I don't think it was stopping Reuniclus setup anyway. Unfortunately. But yeah. Like once it was able to get 1 boost in each direction, there's nothing this team can do. Like Mile only gets 1 hit before knockoff goes down, a ton of base power. So your magic guards
can't pause install it. He was taunting it for a while early game, and then he just wasn't in the position to taunt it when it started doing its thing again, and then you really just can't give Reuniclus a turn or 2 because it just becomes unbreakable. So yeah, well played for Tox for winning not on stall but on offense. I do give you some kudos for that, because this team could just theoretically stall for 60 turns.
Yeah, I remember I got a chance to watch this game live, and I was thinking like to myself, like Mo started off real strong, and then I was like, I wonder if that's a setup or Reuniclus, because if he gets a free turn, it's all over. And then he clicked like Acid Armor, and I was like, Rutro. He may have clicked Calm Mind first, but in any case, it was a Rutro moment. So let's hop on into our next match. This is the Vancouver Villains versus the New York Yamask. Soul versus Jordan. Let's see what Pokemon were brought. On Vancouver's side, we have a Garchomp, Tangrowth, Infernape, Empoleon, Thundurus Therian, and Corviknight.
Yep. And then on Jordan's side, we had the Ursaluna, the Jirachi, the Megazard Y, Enamorous Therian, Larry making his season debut, and then a Smeargle.
Yes, so let's see what happened this match. This was a 5-0 in favor of Soul. I think I
Yeah.
remember. Was this the one where it was like an offensive smear goal?
Yeah, it was some funky things going on with that smear goal. And
Uh,
then Zard Y and Ursaluna just didn't have the momentum to get on the field safely to threaten. Ursaluna got a kill on Napoleon, I think, off of some trick room shenanigans from the Jirachi. It was a funky match, but
I was
Soul played
rooting.
Juicius win conditions.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Ursaluna, but once the Ursaluna went down, and that's the thing too, because I think I was running Flame Orb Guts, and once it went down, then Thunderous is very free for the rest of this. It can
Yep.
just like maybe Suicide Larry is the only thing that can check
Yeah.
it. It's a very loose definition of check as well. But
And you
like
can see on the kill board how Thunderous did
yeah,
unchecked.
one nasty plot and everything just kind of dies.
Yeah, especially the speed tiers we're talking here, because this is the 101 speed, is it not? Or am I wrong?
This is the yeah. No, this is the 111.
Okay. Either way, it had the speed advantage because Jordan's team lacks some speed tiers and things like that, and Infernape are just kind of able to exploit, which, as you can see, they did.
Right. Um, we're gonna not too much really to say about that match. I mean, sometimes
No.
a nasty plot happens and someone loses. All right, so next we have the Delaware Dodrio, coached by Hysterically, going up against the Portland Pincers, coached by Jeg, which this is one of my favorite logos, by the way. I just love this little happy pincer having a good
Yeah,
time, having some tea.
there are some top tier logos going on in the carry division. I know there's another one. I'll mention it again when we get to it. But it's my favorite logo I think I've come across in drafts so far. So I'm looking forward to more logos.
All right, so let's pop in here. So on Delaware's side, we have the Primarina, Mandibuzz, Raikou, Audino, Mega Scizor, and Incineroar.
Mm-hmm. And then with Jag, we've got the single strike Urshifu, Turtonator, Sylveon, Scizor, Nidoqueen, and Mew.
All right, so just immediately looking at the matchup, it's like, whew. Urshifu, it's Primarina and Mandibuzz are your big checks, and that's not a great place to be.
No, because Primarina's not a good enough check where Bandit Urshifu can't just click close combat pretty safely. Like Primarina's still eating a lot of chunk from that, and you're relying on Audino to wish pass, and that's takes a lot of good playing to avoid Audino getting caught by Urshifu on some doubles or things like that to deny
I
the
want to
wishes.
say, even with a band, fully defensive Primarina takes like 35 from Banded Wicked Blow. So
Yeah,
you can get
sounds about
around
right.
that, but it's tough. Mandibuzz
It's
is almost
short
the
term.
better check.
Yeah,
But
Mandibuzz
it
can do
doesn't
pretty well, but
doesn't do
only if
much back. The
no,
problem.
no. And you have things like Scizor to get super safe switch outs from Mandibuzz, so Mandibuzz just really isn't exploiting that.
So let's take a look at the results here, and it was a 3-0 in favor of Portland. And as we can see, our Shifu has 5 KOs, and yeah, I mean, it's almost a pretty super free close combat game. Nothing wants to take it. I don't remember the exact set here.
I believe it was banned, to be honest. I could
think
be
it was.
wrong.
I think it's the Gary division Urshifu match where things were going okay, and then Urshifu just kind of cleans out. I think this was one where Urshifu got toxic, but was like coming in, clicking a button, and then he switches out. Coming in, clicking a button, switches out. And yeah, if toxic don't mean too much if you're only on the field one turn.
No, and one turn is one KO for that Urshifu in a lot of these situations in this matchup. So unsurprising with who got the kills, and the results. Pretty clearly speaks to the fact that Urshifu was not stopped, not well enough at least.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next match. This is the Compton.
This is
Criplops.
the image. This is my
so
favorite
good.
one.
It's so good. It's going up against. It's coached by Bug Gobert, up against the Arizona Absols, coached by RoboPup. Let's take a look at this team matchups here. We have the Mega Deontay on the Silvally, the Zapdos Galar, Bronzong, Sandaconda, and Dragonite.
Yep. And then Robopup's got the Megalopony, the Swampert, Lycanroc Dusk, Necrozma, Hydreigon, and Togekiss.
Let's take a look at how this match went. I'll double click. So we have a 3-0 in favor of Arizona. There was actually some really cool plays here by Robopup in that Dragonite was in a position to get set up and it was at like +2 and Necrozma was at full health. And they got into like the guessing game of, am I clicking Photon Geyser or not? You know, because if Photon Geyser is doing about 50% with the multi-scale, I want to say, or a little less, like 40%, and enough that if you don't roost, he will kill you next turn. And or at the very least, Lycanroc can come in, a Cell Rock can kill you. So Roost has more PP than Photon Geyser. Right? But you don't have to click Photon Geyser if you're going second. And if you do enough damage, or if you do any damage, multi-scale is broken. So it's this really cool, like, stalling out the Roost. Because, like, 2 isn't enough to kill a defensive Necrozma. 2 boosts. So it was just a really nice play. And the Necrozma eventually went down. But then Dragonite was left with, like, 40% HP. And, you know, Lycanroc could clean that up. Or even Lopunny, maybe. Or the Lycanroc was enough to force it out. I think that's what it was. So that was a really cool play, and I think that was really key to the match because in a lot of times, especially in lower divs, like you'll see a Dragonite get to +2 or +3, and it's like, oh, okay, GG, go next. So that was a really nice heads up play to just kind of stall that out and like know that, okay, Necrozma may die, but if Necrozma's gonna die, I'm gonna leave Dragonite in a position that it can't win.
Which is crucial. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you are forced to sack mons. And I think that's where newer players can struggle. Sometimes is they're so unwilling to give up something that they end up navigating themselves into a losing position when they have an out and they just need to play that out. And that out is sacking something so that you can get a safe revenge to at least either revenge kill or force out what might otherwise sweep you. So really well executed by RoboHup to ensure that he was able to navigate himself out of a sweeping Dragonite, which is a really, really scary set pretty much anytime it shows up. So well done.
Yes, well done. All right, let's take a look here. This next match, our one and only match from Frosty, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Saguenai, Sniffly Voice, whatever. Y'all can butcher me for it. But he unfortunately dropped the league after this match, but we'll still cover his match. He was up against the St.
Louis.
It's because we put it into the team sheet wrong.
Yeah.
So it's since been fixed, but it's gonna be
St. Louis. This is Lois with Family Guy.
Yeah. St. Louis.
There we go.
Coached by Charizard 8. Let's take a look at the Pokemon they brought. Oh, it's broken.
Only for the Tapu, which is a Tapu Koko.
It is a Tapu Koko.
Yeah. We'll deal with that at a later date, but that is a Tapu Koko.
Yeah.
Which ironically was the Pokemon I forgot when doing his draft analysis too. So this Koko really just doesn't want to be present. Hey, it showed up.
Yeah. Easy fix.
Easy fix.
Yeah, so there's the Tapu Koko. The rest of the stuff come over with it? Curious real quick. Yeah, it apparently did, so I don't know. I was probably messing around on the back end and messed it up. Sounds like me. Okay, let's take a look at this match result here. We had a 4-0 in favor of Zard Ace. And
yeah,
I'll say I got a chance to watch this match live, and it was a full like physical defensive Salamence. Just wasn't a whole lot happening this match. It was like Umbreon and Licky Licky were just like, I'm just gonna Wish Pass for like 60 turns.
Which is surprising with hyper offense looking on both sides. We got a Mega Betty, Dracopult, Core on one side. We got, Zolt plus Celesteal plus Salamence, which can all be very offensive, plus Coco. And we ended up in a stall match for a while, which is uncommon with Hale. Hale's usually all in, like, I'm going to beat you in 30 turns or I'm going to lose.
Yeah, there were a few times I was expecting Arctozolt to hit the field, but I think it was just a situation. Maybe the Coco went down early. I'm struggling to remember exactly, but like right at the end, even I don't think they would have won, but I think they had a real chance to at least make it tough on Zardes, and that Arctozolt was able to hit the field, and it was up against an Umbreon that had thrown up a Wish, and it had like 25% HP left, or like 35, and it was after he used the Bolt Beak to do like 40% damage. Instead of clicking the Icicle Crash, he clicked Bolt Beak again. 75% Rillaboom came in, and it did like 20%, and then Rillaboom was at full health. And at that point, it's like, because the Icicle Crash the next turn did like 80% to Rillaboom, so like it would have killed, and like that was just one of those probably like I had given up type plays where nothing anymore on the team wanted to take the Icicle Crash, so that was just a little endgame play of just keep in mind of or the move you're clicking, like, yeah, you may miss, but at least the Icicle Crash would be playing to win instead of more or less playing not to lose. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to make those plays, but like, other than that, the team on the left has changed quite a bit. Or our very own Gradual has taken over the team.
I'll be excited to see what he does with it. Obviously, he's a pretty good coach, so I will be interested to see what he tries out in tests and what he's able to shine with. I was happy to see Charizard Ace got to make a Piloswine have a really good matchup. I mean, it had a pretty great matchup. There's a Salamence that hates it, an Arctozolt that hates it, a Tapu Koko that hates it, and it was able to take advantage of those matchups and exploit. So
doing Paul Ultra Goomba proud.
Yes. Goomba would be proud of the performance of the Piloswine here. So
the Piloswine really held its own. So well done by Zard Ace. We are going to move on to our next match. Here we have for our home team the Hopes Peak Deoxys, coached by Joshua, going up against the Midwestern Moltres, coached by Pro Shuriken. Take a look at our squads here. From Josh, we have the Delmice, the Rotom Heat, Slowbro, Aromatisse, Crocodile, and Mega Aggron.
Yep. And then Shuriken brought the Aegislash, the Tapu Fini, the Landorus, the Wigglytuff, and the Mega Sceptile.
Mad respect for Mega Sceptile, and
it's a tough mon to use. I mean, if you can make it work for your team, and it's funny that this is here. I mean, it's not very often you draft a Mega Sceptile and it's not even your fastest Pokemon. So it's just a really wonky, speedy team.
Let's see this match result here. It was a 1-0 in favor of Pro Shuriken. I think I only caught the beginning of this match, and I remember thinking like, it's all on like a Scarf Crook set. No, I remember. Okay, I remember the set.
You caught the end game of this one.
Yeah, I caught the end of this one. Because it was like a lot of 50-50s, and it was Slowbro left and Crocodile left, and there was a Landorus and Regieleki left, and it was like Josh just missed out on like 3 50-50s in a row, and it's too much and it did him in. And then
I remember he let his
in hindsight to like get a free knockoff on the Regieleki, but instead switched, and it was just like, oh man, I understand why he made the decisions he did, and it's like in hindsight we can see what the right decisions were, but like in the moment it was like I thought he had it, but then like he missed a few 50-50s in a row, and I'm sure
they let his Krookie and Earth Power, which is the kind of the big thing, because that was his Regieleki doesn't win with Krook alive and healthy, and that was I think the turn that went poorly is when the Krookie and Earth Power, and that was too much.
Yeah. So But other than that, I think the match was actually really well done because the Delmise,
Oh,
like
very back and forth.
the Delmise had a surprising amount of influence. I forget how much a Poltergeist can do to a non-resist
Hmm.
because Delmise is a little unsuspecting sometimes.
And this team didn't have a good switch into the Delmise. I mean, its stab combination was enough, especially when you consider the fact too Wigglytuff is not eating the
Anchor shots,
um,
no.
anchor shots because it's technically stab with the ability. So
Yeah, so
there was
it was cool.
no switch in.
I
Yeah,
was really surprised because I would look at the team on the left there, Josh's team, and think, oh, this is a kind of passive team, and he didn't really play it all that passively.
no, he brought some offense.
Yeah, so
So it was good to see
it
that.
was cool, pretty cool. All right, so this is our last match. Initiate. Here we have the Dallas Streepies, coached by Evelyn, going up against the Denton Zoroark, coached by Spirit Union. Um, Dallas Streepies. This is a pretty cool logo. I like the shadows going back.
I do. I
Um,
do. I think it's a quality logo. This is
let's
our spooky teams week 1.
ooh, let's take a look if they brought spooky mons. So Evelyn was able to bring the Zeraora, a Cresselia, a Rabambi, Crobat, Mega Blastoise, and Cobalion.
Yep. And then Spirit Union brought the Mega Gallade, the Hisuian Gudra, the Enamorus, the Vaporeon, the Landorus Therian, and the Superior.
I think if this is the match I'm thinking, I'm just gonna throw the spoilers off. So it was a 5-0
Yeah.
for Spirit, and largely off the back of his Hisuian mons.
Yeah.
This was a match that honestly made me think we may have under-tiered Hisuian Gudra.
Yeah. I think a running theme across all 3 games this week was how frustrating it was to get off the field. And that Acid Spray is just enough tech to deny any sort of special walling against it. So it just starts being impossible to switch in on because nothing can really take Acid Spray into another strong hit. And so
Right, and
it shines. And then you have Wish support with Vaporeon, and it's just gross. Like, you can eat hits all day.
yeah, this was a disgusting match and like a really good showing. And I mean, the Enamorus showed up and clicked its buttons as a 17-point mon does, but like this was like a very very good shining star game for the Hisuian Gudra. So like top notch. Well done by Spirit Union.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Disciple, we're gonna hop over into our standings for Initiate.
Yep.
Okay, I'm a little off, but that's okay. So, taking a look here, you can, after 1 week, it's pretty simple.
Did you win or did you lose? That's what side of the bracket you're on right now.
Yeah, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I do want to take a look at our kill leaders here because we have a Reuniclus in the top spot. Hooray!
Which I think has the potential to, based off the team he has drafted, actually has the potential to stay up here a lot of the season because
he just gets
what
the
seems
dark
like
type. Reuniclus comes in, clicks the setup move, and you're not moving it off the field.
yeah,
Very
his
easily.
team really enables it to shine just because of how stally it is and how tough it is to break, that it can wear things down until the point where Uniclus gets that free turn or two and then it's GG. So I won't be surprised to see that be a mainstay, which is uncommon for Uniclus. It gets undrafted a lot and it usually doesn't shine when it is drafted. So I actually won't be surprised to see it stay here all season.
Right. The other two big mons up there are Shifu with 5 KOs and Thunderous with 4. I mean, Landorus has 3, and then use some other familiar names, but like the Piloswine will disappear.
Yeah.
Sui and Gudra
Togekiss
will probably disappear. Same with Togekiss.
Mm-hmm.
Are the other two? Regieleki has a chance to stay, depending on how Shuriken decides to play it, and Pult may stay, and Lop will probably definitely stay.
Yeah, Lop's just always a reliable cleaner. So as long as you're winning games, Lop is getting lots of KOs.
There you have it. There's your standings and kill leaders for week 1 initiates. We'll go back to our recaps here. We're gonna switch gears here. We're gonna hop into Our
Gary.
Disciple.
The Disciple Division.
Right now. Alright, so this is for our first match. This is the Dallas High Horsepower, coached by Shark Finnegan, going up against the LA Nido Kings, coached by Black117. Take a look what we have Pokemon-wise. We have the Ursaluna for Shark, the Raikou, G Moltres, Latios, Manaphy, and Mega Venusaur.
And then on Black's team, we've got the Mega Aerodactyl, the Nidoqueen, the Mew, regular Kangaskhan, Kartana, and Suicune.
Alright, let's pop this off. It was a 4-0 in favor of the LA Nido Kings, with Mega Aerodactyl and Kartana taking 3 of the big kills. I want to say, oh yeah, this was a match where, Ursaluna came in, did a little, he does a little bit of breaking, and then
he clicked Banded Double Edge, got a crit on the Mew, and that was the it for the Mew. Mew died to that.
Moltres though had a sad time. I know Shark well enough. He's a very smart dude. He really thinks his set's through. I think he may have overthought the set. It had like a gentle nature, and like it was like too next level for his own good.
Sometimes that happens.
Plus defense minus Spadef, or maybe it's the opposite way. It's like I'd never seen anything like that, and it just in game just didn't work, because I think it was Kartana that came in and was like slap, and it was like, oh, okay.
Whoops, I'm going down. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
So it's gonna happen. It's not a big deal. Cause this was always gonna be a game where Mega Aerodactyl was just gonna shine unless Moltres had a chance to double dance.
Yeah, which is hard to do. So you get like things like Scarf Raikou or Scarf Manaphy as options to try to shut it down, but Aerodactyl just starts clicking buttons every time it hits the field, and there's not really a switch in. Because I remember when I was talking with Shark when he drafted this team, I was like, this is a pretty solid team until you run into physical flying, because your only resist to flying is Raikou. So if you run into physical flying, it's going to be a tough matchup. And so lo and behold, week 1, it is like the best possible physical flying in the meta in Mega Aerodactyl. So
yeah, that big old
this
150 base power dual wing beat. Yikes.
With Tough Claw, like it's just, there's no switch-ins. I basically 2-hit KOs everything with dual wing beat pretty safely being spammed. So always going to be a tough one for Shark. Probably in his benefit that he lost this one early, so that if he gets a chance in postseason to reevaluate the matchup, he might have something to deal with it next time. But this was always going to be a tough one to win for him.
Alright, we'll pop into the next match. Here we have the adorable Audinos, coached by Frandy, going up against the Moody Marshadow, coached by Bloop. On the team side of things, we have a Lycanroc Dusk, Chandelure, Mega Mile, Zapdos, Crocodile, and Slowbro for Frandy.
And then on Bloop's team, we've got the Sneasler making his debut, the Zygarde, the Vikavolt, the Skarmory, the Vileplume, and the Zoroark.
Alright, so taking a look here, it was a 4-0 for Frandy, with Zappy picking up 2 kills and Slowbro picking up 2 kills, and Shandy and Crocodile sharing as well.
There was a very funny turn in this match where Slowbro had like, I want to say like 18% health left, and Sneasler comes in to revenge kill it.
Oh my
and it
God,
clicks
yeah.
Shadow Claw, thinking, oh, this is such an easy KO, but no, it's Kasib Berry Slowbro, and it does like 15%.
Yeah.
It was gross. And then so Slowbro kills it with like Scald or Psychic or something, and it removes Sneasler, and then Regenerator gets it back to health throughout the rest of that game.
I had forgotten about that. I wasn't, for one, I was not expecting the berry. 2, I wasn't expecting it to do so little with the.
I know.
After the berry, I was like, oh no.
To be honest, I was expecting Flame Orb Slowbro to come out again, because back when me and Frandy fought in BBL, and that's a Ubers league, I had I had complete Zygarde or whatever you call it. And so he ran Flame Orb Slowbro, so I couldn't Toxic Stall it with Zygarde, and I couldn't set up quick enough because Zygarde's not that strong, and Slowbro just spams Ice Beam at you. So I was expecting him to bring that back out again as kind of his fun piece of Slowbro tech to 1v1 the Zygarde. But this Kasib Berry was just as spicy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
well done
remember.
with the slow, bro.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Bloop.
Yeah.
Hop into this match. This is the Tentacruel Pirates, coached by DJS, going up against the Seattle Sigilifts, coached by Dashing Sept. Take a look at these teams here. For DJS, we have the Dragapult, the Infernape, Ferrothorn, Mega Gyarados, Deoxys Defense, and Donphan.
Yep. And then on Dashing's team, we've got the Enamorus, the Keldeo, the Tyranitar, the Victini, the IG Slash, and the Manta.
This was a 1-0 of Dashing.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll tell you what, he's been really fond of this Keldeo as of late. He was running it to a ton of success in another league we shared not too long ago. And so already Keldeo is re-cementing its appreciation by Dashing. So I guess I can't say I'm surprised to see it succeeding here. So good on you to continue to have success with that mod.
Yeah. Getting used because I think it's a Victini and upper. Really struggling to remember what exactly happened here. This. Sorry guys, this looks like a really close match. It looks like something where a Scarf Keldeo kind of comes in at the end and just like, I'm going to win the game.
I mean, I know looking at team preview, Tyranitar would definitely had two good pursuit trapping options against the Pult and the Deoxys defense. I don't remember if that's what it's doing, but that's probably where one or two of its KOs come from. Keldeo largely clicks Scald freely.
Do you get the boost from Pursuit when you teleport?
No. So Teleport gets away from it because Teleport has negative priority, so that's how you escape it with that. And then Dragapult can avoid it with Baton Pass.
Yes.
So both of those can get you out of the pursuit trapping.
As we find out in my match, yes.
I
didn't know about that mechanic when I clicked it. It was very, very sad.
Yeah, so that's a way to deal with some pursuit trapping, and obviously Tyranitar has a really good matchup for that kind of tech.
So,
but Keldeo saves the day. Unsurprisingly, Infernape doesn't like dealing with it. Donphan hates it. Ferrothorn hates it. Gyarados hates it, and you have Icy Wind for something like Dragapult. So Keldeo, especially as a Scarf, which I think is what it was in this matchup, just kind of clicks buttons.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's take a look here. Next we have the Chelsea Chestnuts, coached by Waka, going up against the Arkham City Delibirds, coached by A12. So here we have Urshifu Single Strike for Waka, Heatran, Rillaboom, Rotom-Wash, Glow King, and Palo Sand.
Yep, and then A12 has got the Weavile, the Mega Altaria, the Gliscor, the Magneton, the Diggersby, and Larry, his debut in the Disciple Division.
This was a 1-0 in favor of Waka. So
hey, look who that mon is again, doing good work.
Waka deserved to win this because he brought the Heatran set that 1v1's Mega Altaria.
Yeah, the air balloon was just super spicy. Because Altaria, I believe, clicked Dragon Dance, and it was like, okay, this is game over. And then Heatran pops in, and it's just like, nope, I'm going to sit here and click Flash Cannon, and you can't really do anything besides break my air balloon.
So that was pretty cool. That wasn't really the decisive part of the match. It's like really, really back and forth, and then I even want to say like things were looking really bad for Waka. I don't remember what they discussed in the post game chat. Like, Urshifu got all 6 of those KOs right at the end of the game, or like 4 or 5 of them. Like, it wasn't coming in revenge. It was like cleaned up right at the end of the match because I did not. Weavile was no, it wasn't this league. Or maybe this was the one where Weavile was missing priority.
It was one of those situations where, if it's not Bandit Urshifu, things like Pyukumuku and Mega Altaria, and even Gliscor to a degree, can kind of manage Urshifu, but I think he had gotten those pieces worn down to enough of a degree where Urshifu just got to button spam. throughout the match, and that's more or less how he did it. Because I don't know if he did all of them at once. I know he started cleaning them up periodically, and then Urshifu came in late game and kind of just finished. So really close game, but also proof of why Urshifu costs what he costs, because he can be ridiculously effective at winning games.
Yes. Alright, next we have the Tennessee Type Nulls, coached by Zeke Zero, going up against the St. Louis Shroomish, coached by the Helix Fossil. Take a look at these squads here. Have the Type Null, which is second. There's no space. Six, right?
Should be.
Alright, there he is. Ooh, heaven forbid we don't have a picture. And it's poor Wishy-Washy without his school form.
Aw. It looks so little, so sad.
Yeah. Oh well. So we have the Type Null, the Landorus Therian, the Hisuian Zoroark, Melodic, Zeraora, and the Smeargle.
And then Helix has the Nidoking, the Rotom Mow, the Mega Gallade, the Buzzwole, Hisuian Gudra, and the Wishy-Washy.
Take a look at this match. Alright, this was a 1-0 favor of St. Louis. And I remember some very key parts of this. And I've had to fix it a few times. There's a small chance it's incorrect still. Because
Zoroark messes up things.
It messes up Poribot. But the match started off with like Smeargle v Motom, and Smeargle sets up all of his stuff. Rotom misses the Leaf Storm, but then just is like, oh wait, yeah, I can just defog this. And so I was like, okay, cool.
For that.
After like four turns, it's like, all right, let's just start over.
Yep.
You know, nothing's on the field. So that was a little humorous, but then Smeargle went down pretty early, and I think Type Null went down pretty early as well. So it was like a 4-6 affair. And I kind of wrote the match off, and then I look at the final, and it was a 1-0, and like Zeke was starting to outplay Helix a little bit with the Zoroark, and the Zoroark was coming in, getting some like crucial kills. And you could call it that Helix was sacking Mons, but I really don't think he was. Or at least not on purpose. Like he had an advantage, so it kind of worked out. But like Zeke really clawed this one back in to make it a 1-0 instead of just a like 4-0. It
was very good differential saver, if nothing else. I mean, Hisuian Zoroark just has a really good matchup here where Shadow Ball is pretty free to spam. You know, Gudra and Wishy-Washy both only have limited switch-ins on that. Everything else is pretty reliably 2-hit KO'd or 1-hit KO'd. So, good options there to work with. Landorus didn't have the easiest matchup where it can't spam Earthquake like at all between the Buzzwole and the Motom, just saying nah.
If anything, you could make a case for special Lando T this match.
Yeah, Earth Power is pretty solid. Sludge Wave does good work. Psychic for the Buzzwole. Like, there's actually a lot to be done there, minus the Gudra. But the Gudra's not really switching in on Landorus, so you can take advantage of that. Would have been interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you had some plays. I don't know if that would actually work, but it's a thought. I always like in draft when you do see the special Lando come up.
I've seen Combine special Landorus Therian, and that is some spice. Yeah.
Alright, let's take a peek here at our next. Here we have the Phoenix Sogoleos, coached by DD12345, coming up against the Sacramento Kingdras, coached by Oren Latios. See what these teams look like. Here we have the Clefable, the Kyurem, Thundurus, Melmetal, Lopunny Mega, and Skuntank.
Yep. And then Ornn has the Garchomp, the Alolan Muck, the Terrakion, in a very surprising bring, we have Hisui and Electrode showing up in week 1, Necrozma, and the Tangrowth.
Alright, I just want to turn spoilers off before we say anything else because you know what? Orin Latios, he made me eat my words from when I did. I was like, this is a useless mon. He got a KO with Electrode, so I was wrong. I was wrong. You know what? It's he may have lost the match, but he won the war against the Disciple PRs.
It's worth noting that it is technically tied as his kill leader right now on his team. So I guess you can throw that in Geo's face all week if you'd like.
Yes. So, I mean, you can kind of look at this here and just... this was a setup Clefable.
Yep. And I believe it was Keyberry Clefable at that.
Yes. So it's just Calm Minding. It got the +1 defense, and it was like, alright, I'm good.
Yeah, Muck's got nothing for it, because yeah, Muck get a poison it, but Clefable don't care with that magic guard, so it just sets up on that.
It's one of the fairies that Muck doesn't necessarily kill unless it's its own curse variant.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, Clefable took advantage of Muck not having the firepower to push through a boosted Clefable like that, and then after a Calm Mind or two, there's just no answers, to be honest. And, there was no trick shenanigans to be played with, and Necrozma needed time to set up. So Clefable was really able to take advantage of that lack of, counterplay for setup variant, and swept. Reminding people why Clefable costs what it costs, despite having 0 stats above 100.
Good mon.
Very good mon, and well executed by DD in this matchup.
Last and certainly not least for Disciple, we have the Melbourne Reshiram's, coached by Edster, and the Auto Chestnuts, coached by Liger. Take a look at these squads here.
Australian matchup. Uh-oh.
Let me see what's up.
Well, while he's looking through that, we'll tell you what Liger brought to his matchup. We've got the Landorus Incarnate, the Primarina, the Miltank, the Komo-O, the Mega Scizor, and the Rotom Fan. Some very fun mixed attacking options with the Landorus and the Komo-O, Miltank with that Rocks play, and the team has now showed up, so we can talk about what Edster was trying to bring.
Alright. Yeah, so Edster brought the Tapu Koko, the Blissey, the Mega Medicham, Gengar, Silvally, and Mandibuzz. Yeah, double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the right team. Yeah, you gotta check sometimes.
You never quite know.
Oh, this was a 3-0 in favor of Liger. And I'm trying to remember this. This was a earlier match. This was like on a Thursday.
The game is back and forth. Oh shoot, Scizor click, Sword Stance. Oh no, my Mandibuzz is too weak to switch in and handle that. I guess that's GG.
Yeah, that's right. And it wasn't
because your answer to set up Scizor is having a healthy enough Mandibuzz to foul play it before it sweeps you. And so if Mandibuzz gets too whittled down, then it's kind of just GG.
Yeah, that's
because nothing else here eats the bullet punch.
I mean, Fire Silvally, but Fire Silvally.
Yeah, and that's not what came. Unfortunately,
I want to say it was Fairy Silvally.
I believe it had a fire move, but it didn't have an answer to bullet punch, so it didn't get to click the fire move when the Scizor was starting to sweep, or it was already out of play. Either way, really well executed by Liger, showing why Landorus Scizor is a really tough combo to deal with, just because of their breaking and sweeping potential on either side with the special and the physical. And just not a lot of options to handle that. Mandibuzz had too much to do to try to manage Landorus and Scizor, and unfortunately, I think he just got run too thin.
Things got dire enough. I'm sure the Komodo was some type of setup variant.
Yeah, very scary team. Lots of ways to win. So well executed by Liger. I still like what Edster's got on that team. I think Medi Coco was fun, even though I'm bad at piloting that. I am sure he will rebound.
We're going to hop into our standings here for week 1. Again,
Yep.
not too much to say. If you won, you're in playoff contention, technically.
Congrats.
A little more reasonable kill leaders here in the Keldeo, LaFable, or those are your top 3. Well, tied with
Rotom,
Mega
yeah.
Scizor. Rotom Mo being up there is cool. Probably won't
Short-lived,
stay up
probably.
there.
Same with the Slowbro.
I could see Zoroark and Kartana will stay up there. Well, the thing is, with Kartana and Mega Aerodactyls, they're probably directly competing for kills.
Yeah, so one will probably overtake the other. I know that Zeke is very determined to make his Sui and Zoroark shine. He doesn't care about his record. He just wants that Pokemon to do well.
I
So
respect
I
that.
will not be surprised to see it stick around, potentially even compete for kill leader as the season goes on, because that's the mon he's determined to succeed with, and I think he can. So
It could be like an NBA, you know. Usually
yeah.
the score leader's coming from some really trash team.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
LeBron James on the Lakers. They're so bad this year. Woo.
I know.
Oh well. Alright, let's go back to recaps. We're going to switch over to Master Div now.
Yep.
Alright, so first up we have the Miami Delphox, coached by Fac Luigi, going up against the Columbus Galig, coached by me. So I'll let you introduce Fac's team here.
Yep. Fac brought the Dracopult, the Mesprit, the Mega Pidgeot, the Landorus Darien, the Drapion, and the Hisuian Lilligant.
Alright, I brought the Mega Gallade, the Alolan Muck, the Gliscor, Melodic, Rotom Heat, and Registeel. This was a 2-0 for Fac. It started off really bad.
I'm trying to remember. Well, you had this game started. I can't remember.
I led like Rotom against the Drapion, or no, something else. Maybe it was maybe the Muck against the Drapion. I was like, oh, I can't risk this right now. No, I think it was either the Gliscor or the Melodic, which the Drapion should have outsped, and I'm like, I need this to proc. So I switched into the Mega Gallade.
That's right.
And
That's
then it's
right.
like, cool, I got a Justified boost. I need to attack. And then I like mouse slipped and I clicked Swords Dance, and it was just real bad because it was a poison jab, and it got the poison, so I have like 12%. So I'm like, oh, I get one attack, and I was like, what? I can't. Just in case he switches into Dragapult, I need to go for the Shadow Sneak. But he switched into Mess Spirit, so it did 50%. It was just and then Gallade died. I was like, oh my god.
And if you're looking at this team was built around, well, these mons will take hits, things will pivot into Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade will click buttons because that's what he's suited to do. And so losing Mega Gallade that early
like turn
was
3
rough.
is dead.
Yeah. So to bring it back to a 2-0 was pretty impressive considering the spot you had yourself in early.
Yeah, I even had some winning chances at the end, but I needed to get like 3 50-50s in a row, and I think I got 2 and missed on the last one. But I found out this was the game where if you want to go check it out, Baton Pass gets past Pursuit.
Yep.
Which was really sad for Muck.
Yeah. Because Muck seems like it has a pretty easy way to deal with Dracopult, where it's like, oh, Dracopult's dead because Muck's here, but nope, Dracopult just leaves.
Yeah. Also
good planning by Fac.
Everyone be wary of the Lilligant. Turns out with Bandit Hustle, it hurts. It did about 40% to a fully defensive Gliscor, so just be on the lookout for that.
Every time 80% of the time, it is devastating.
Yeah, there's no real recourse for that. It's just gonna click buttons and it's going to hurt really bad. So that's that. There's not too much to talk about there.
No.
Here we have the Mad Hatterines, coached by Queen Eileen, going up against the Republic City Firefur. It's coached by Claude9. Queen was able to bring Urshifu. This is a single strike.
Single strike.
So I'm a
There he is.
Lefable, Hisui and Gudra, Mega Blastoise, Slowking Galar, and Rapidash. This is the purple team, by the way, because if they're all shades of
That's right.
purple. If depending on like some of them are shiny, some of them are not, but like they're all shades of purple, and it's gorgeous. Especially
It
Rapidash. If you
is.
turn on the black and white sprites for Rapidash when it's shiny, it's amazing.
It
It's
is, and
well
it's a
well done.
very good bring to this match because I've mentioned this before. I think Rapidash is one of the better Mega Scizor counters around, just because
Check. It's a
Mega
check.
Scizor.
It's not a
I
counter.
argue it's a counter. I'll stand by my counter statement because Scizor is forced to run stupid Sand Tomb to try to deal with it, and that's not very great.
Stupid
So I
Sand as it does
stupid Sand Tomb.
70% uninvested. Seems okay.
Okay.
Does well, maybe not
Nevertheless,
70. It does over 50%. So you're forced to go for that morning sun.
Quad brought the Garchomp, the Mega Scizor, the Weezing, the Celebi, the Tapu Fini, and the Spectrier, which has a pretty great matchup when your Dark type
As
does
your
not like
Shifu.
Special Ghost.
No. So we can see here, Chomp and Spectrier kind of take the.
Did work.
Yeah, they did work. There was one bit of RNG here where I want to say the Garchomp dodged a. No, the Spectrier dodged a Draco Meteor, and then the game was just kind of over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't remember if like I don't think that would have been decisive for Queen. I think there was still would have been game left to be played, but it was just like all this work to kill the sub for Spec, and then the Draco missed, and I was like, oh well, you'll get him next time. That was unfortunate, and you know,
Yeah,
Spectre then
unfortunate.
clicked the button, got its second boost, and at that point, nothing could take it. So unfortunate, but you know that's the game we play.
Also, for what it's worth here, because I care, 252 Adamant Nature Sand Tomb from Mega Scizor can't do 50% to Rapidash if you're defensively invested enough.
How
So
much does it do?
Rapidash, it can max out at 45%.
Did you add the 12 at the end?
No, so it can max
Oh,
out at 56%, but that's
there
not
you
enough to
go.
KO it on the second attempt. And Rapidash just needs to click Flamethrower and it's dead. So
Whatever. I mean,
I don't. It's not a great answer, but it's a
it's a
quirky
strong
enough
check.
answer.
It's a strong check. How about that?
Scizor doesn't sweep against Rapidash. Scizor
Yeah, that's true.
has to be quirky. Anyway, I'm off my tangent. I think Rapidash is a great Pokemon for one Pokemon alone, and that's about all Rapidash is worth. Unless you can Baton Pass, which Geo showed in XPDLA one season.
Yeah,
Then Rapidash is
kinda.
scary.
All right. Hey, we know
Hey, it's
this team.
me.
We have the
I'll introduce
Potown
my own.
Pukamukus, coached by P McGee, going up against the Alberta Surge, coached by Huku. What do you got?
I've got myself a Landorus Incarnate, an Umbreon, a Mega Mawile, a Slowbro, a Cinderace, and a Como-O.
Um, Going up against you is Gyapdos, Colossal, Kyurem, Tapu Koko, Mega Audino, and Talonflame.
And this matchup was one where playing fast and loose ends up costing you dearly because I had an out of the Mega Audino sweep I weirdly found myself experiencing, where I had a
I've never
Como-O
seen
with
anything
Boom Burst. I was
uh,
caught off guard. It threw me by surprise what was going on with the Audino. When I had an out, I navigated it well, and I forgot I packed Boom Burst on my Como, which did enough to KO the Audino, and I overlooked it and lost. It was
even
it was
then, what
unfortunate.
we kind of saw at the end of the match anyway was that even set up, the Umbreon can hold off the Audino.
I know. I found that out. I wish I had known that because I
What?
could have navigated myf out of that situation
I
if
would
I
have
had been
never
aware of the
guessed.
calcs.
I would have been too
No.
tilted at that point, but like I would have never guessed. I was blown away when like this fully set up Audino's using Draining Kiss, which is stab against
Mhm.
Umbreon, and it was like a little squeaky toy. I was like, what's happening here?
It was a surprise, and I had the bulk to endure. I just misplayed myself, and it's unfortunate because I play what is probably the scariest team in the entirety of CLDL next week or this week, and I'm going to be sitting at 0-2 very, very soon. So I have that to look forward to.
It's all right. All right. Speaking of
Speaking of
that
that,
team,
Tat.
here's the Thunderous from Down Under, as coached by Sparky, going up against Dick and Balls by Frost Eye. Let's take a look at these teams here. On Sparky's side, we have the Primarina, Zoroark, Regieleki, Corviknight, Rillaboom, and Dracovish.
And then by Frost Eye, we've got the Crobat, the Suicune, the Deoxys Speed, the other Zoroark, except this one's Hisuian, the Mega Chomp, and the Silvally.
Wow. All right. So this was actually a pretty fun match.
It was.
I think
also
the
proof of
5-0's
why
a
this team is
little-
busted.
I think the 5-0 is a little misleading.
Is it?
I think,
I mean, it was just
I don't know.
domination by him
No.
because
Yeah, you're right.
he killed the Zoroark. Or he used his Zoroark did one thing the entire game, which was KO the Garchomp, and then that basically meant his button spammers literally spam buttons the rest of the game. Regieleki clicked its one button.
Yeah.
Dracovish, which is only a button, it's not a Pokemon, it's a button. It did that for the other turns that Lucky wasn't on the field, and those two basically just pivoted into each other all game, and he destroyed. So his team is scary. I think it's busted. It's probably the coolest draft team I've ever seen. I'm so angry that I have to play it already, needing a win. Frost Eye, for what it's worth, threw out his team quite a bit and has made a lot of changes after this matchup, so we'll see what he's able to do with that new team in week 2.
Right. All right. This next matchup is Chris 04 with the Draft by Drafters going up against Wombat Baby, the South Bend Snows.
Snows.
I think of South Bend and I think of snow. And I mean, that's the point.
Yeah, and he's playing on that.
Oh, man. So here, Chris has brought the Zeraora, the Mandibuzz, the Latios, Ferrothorn, Enamorus, and Donphan.
And then Wombat's got the Keldeo, the Jirachi, the Tornadus Therian, the Mega Altaria, the Ursaluna, and the Toxtricity.
So here was a 2-0 in favor of South Bend. And it was kind of cool to watch the Ursaluna just clean up at the end, but I think this was where Zeraora was like trying to get set up against the Mega Altaria and kind of was able to, but then like Toxtricity was able to just like boom burst it down.
Yeah, so this was an interesting game where it actually could have gone the other way if Zeraora had enough speed. So he did an interesting thing late game because a secondary effect to Plasma Fists that's almost never remembered is that it converts all normal types into electric type for the rest of the turn. So Zeraora tried clicking Plasma Fists on the Toxtricity to change Boom Burst to an electric attack, but the Scarf Toxtricity actually outsped the Zeraora because Zeraora didn't run enough speed to outspeed Scarf Toxtricity, which it can. It's fast enough to do that, but it didn't run all that speed. And so Boom Burst unfortunately went first and kind of broke through the Zeraora. But that really could have changed the tide of the game because if Plasma Fist goes first, Boom Burst becomes electric type, Zeraora's Volt Absorb gets its health back, and then all of a sudden there's a pretty healthy Zeraora smacking damage round.
He was at +2 at the time too, so
yeah, really could have changed the dynamic of that game if Zeraora had the speed to go before that Toxtricity. So somewhat unfortunate.
That was really kind of the key thing, because everything was kind of navigated around, got the Zeraora set up, ready to go, and I mean, Zeraora doesn't hit too hard, but then after 2 boosts, he's sitting pretty.
Yeah, there's not really a switch in to Play Rough, Plasma Fist, and then whatever move he had for Ursula.
Probably close combat.
Probably close combat. So not a lot coming in on that.
Alright. Coming up next, we have Flight Club, coached by Cats, and going up against the derivative Sawing Dracovish, coached by Epix. So on Cats' side, we have the Aegislash, the Mega Diancie, Sandaconda, Vaporeon, Inshao, and Hydreigon.
I haven't seen Sandaconda used in a draft league in probably 10 plus seasons. So the fact that it has not one but two appearances across our division in week one is really surprising to me. I'm going to be honest. But good
I
on that Sand Snake for seeing some action because it's pretty often ignored as a low tier ground option. Anyway,
yeah.
Epics brought the Aerodactyl, the Weavile, the more realistic ground option in Hippowdon, Mew, Dracozolt as part of that Sand Core, and then the Infernape.
Let's see what we got here. It was a 2-0 in favor of Epics, and you got the kills.
Yeah.
Is this a setup, Mew?
I can't remember what this Mew was. I actually don't remember this game well at all, to be honest. But
I'm not.
Sandaconda stopped this. Sandaconda was there to stop the Dracozolt. It appears it did so because Dracozolt got 0 KOs. But his team did not have a lot of Weavile answers except for Vaporeon.
This was the Metal Claw Weavile game, I think.
Oh, that's right. Because I think Diancie was expecting to be able to take one Icicle Crash to get the KO. And then Weavile did click Metal Claw, which broke through the Diancie. And that was one of the primary offensive options for Cats. And with that down, I think
it's hard to
just kind of started falling.
Break through, yeah.
Yeah.
This should be Mega Aerodactyl as well. I think it just didn't update because it never hit the field.
That would make sense.
Because we're playing on the custom game format, so it doesn't really know.
Yeah, there's some quirks still getting sorted out with that. But
yeah,
well done by Epics. The Sandcore didn't do a lot, but the Mew did plenty, and the Weavile did just enough as well to open that up for a 2-0 win.
Alright, so next we have, this is our last match of the week. This is Living Like Larry, coached by Phil, coming up against the Canberra Charizard, coached by Sammy C. Let's take a look what they brought. On Phil's side, we have the Kabutops, the Politoed, Zygarde, Overquill, Capulele, Celesteela.
And then Sammy C's got the Delmise, the Necrozma, the Megalopony, the Greninja, the Zapdos, and the Heatran.
Let's take a look at what happened. Here it
basically
was a 4-0, and this was really cool.
Yeah, offensive Zapdos is kind of super scary on against a rain team, and he did a really spicy thing where he clicked agility and then kind of swept after the Zygarde went down. There wasn't really any answers left for that, so super scary Zapdos does great work. Yeah, people forget Zapdos, despite having great special attack and good speed, is actually a good offensive option and should not just be used as a crutch defensive piece, which people, myself especially, like to do.
So, I mean, this was like a 20-turn game, so not much to really say about it other than well done, Sammy. Let's take a look here. Hop into the standings for our Master Div. Whatever, close enough. All right, so yeah, it's a sorry guys, it's the same as after 1 week. If you won, great, look at you on top there. If you lost, ungreat, because look, you're in the bottom there. Kill leaders, Zappy on top, Mega Audino.
Which wrong? It better not stay up there. I unfortunately gave it a standing for week 1 at the top. I really hope it does not continue to stay there, but maybe who commits to it and does a lot with it.
Maybe. Dracovish makes sense. Chomp, cool. Spectre, cool. Mew, cool. Drapion, oops, that's my bad.
Yeah, we both kind of gave a standing to mons that should not be in the top 10 at any point ever. But here they are.
Glow King up there is okay. It will pick up kills. Weavile, sure. And there's a lot of mons at 2, so I'm not even gonna talk about Pulp, but
yeah.
So that's that. We'll pop back here, turn this off. That's all that I really have. I think in weeks going forward, if there's particularly great matches, we may cover them. We'll see what we can do time-wise, because we're clocking in here at about an hour, which is decent. I feel that's fair.
Yep. And I know, there's no point right now because it's week 1, but we will start incorporating some level of power rankings either in the videos or it's just post game, post video type ups that come out with the video releases.
Yeah, well, we're gonna
But
do something with it, but not sure
yeah,
yet. So, if you guys have feedback for any of this, just let us know. We're happy to hear any constructive criticism you have, things we can do better.
yeah, this is week 1. We're still kind of feeling our way out with how we want to do this video content. So now is definitely the ideal time. If you have thoughts, let us know so we can at least review those.
Yeah, so if you've made it with us this far in the video, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We're gonna be back next week, doing recap content once again. So
Yep.
thanks everybody. We'll catch you all later. Peace.
Peace.